All right, let's get this review started. You should have completed all of these questions on your own, and now you're just following along to confirm that your work is done correctly and that you found a right answer. In this question, we're asked to rationalize the denominator. That means we don't want to have radicals in the denominator of our expression. We need to multiply by the conjugate. Remember that the conjugate means we're changing the sign of the expression in the denominator, and we're multiplying both the numerator and the denominator by the conjugate. Now we're multiplying binomials. In the numerator, we've opened the brackets by having the first term, root 7, multiply the second bracket, and then the second term multiplying the second bracket. In the denominator, we have a minus b times a plus b, so we're using our formula a squared minus b squared. Once you're finished and you know you have a final answer, it's always a good idea to put a box around it so that when we're marking your work, we know where you've finished. Another question of rationalizing the denominator. If you haven't done this question already, you should pause the video and get it completed. Multiplying by the conjugate again. Opening the brackets using our formula a squared minus b squared in the denominator. Notice that when I had root 5 multiplying root 10, instead of writing root 50, I prime factored 10 with the 5. Now I can see that there are two factors of 5 that can be taken out to simplify this. So I've simplified everything here. The only thing to note is that we don't usually like to leave a negative sign in the denominator. So if I factor out -1, I'm going to have the negative sign outside of our expression. And again, our final answer. Well, I don't know what that's doing. All right, whenever you're asked to simplify and I see quadratic trinomials, you know that you need to factor everything. I'm not going to spend time in this video talking about how to factor. That's something you should know already. If you don't, you need to go back in your lessons and practice. Once we've factored, we can see that we have a common factor of x plus 3. So this is simplified form. If you're asked to talk about the restrictions, remember that we're looking at the entire denominator. Each of those factors cannot equal 0. So we have two restrictions for this expression. Again, these questions should be completed already. If they're not, pause your video, simplify this expression, and find the restrictions. So we've factored, taken out common factors, and found our restrictions. Remember, when you're looking at multiplying and we're following BEDMAS, we look inside the brackets first. We see that we cannot simplify inside the brackets. We don't have like radicals. So we're going to go ahead and multiply. But when I do, rather than multiplying, I'm going to factor 14 and then multiply by 7. And again, I'm going to factor 14 and multiply by 2. I don't need to multiply those numbers. I can simply go straight to prime factoring. I see that I have 2 7s I can take out and 2s I can take out. So we have 7 root 2 plus 2 root 7. Why don't you do this one? The first thing I've noticed is that there are 2 3s we can take out. I can find the square root of m squared. And 2 2s I can take out. We're going to multiply those numbers that we've taken out of the radical sign. And now I see that I still have 3m squared. We can, of course, find the square root of m squared. And again, multiplying gives us 6m squared, square root of 3. We'll finish these questions in another video.